Previously, Seishu moved to a village so he can improve his calligraphy style. Here he made a few friends who helped him see the world from a new perspective. He slightly changed his calligraphy style but failed to win the competition. Later he painted the name of a boat under difficult circumstances. The story continues as Seishu looks back at his progress since arriving in the village. He also realizes how time is moving quickly in the busy village life, and he only has a month till the competition. While immersed in his thoughts, he suddenly notices Naru's grandpa standing in the window. He has brought konmen for him. Seishu feels this might be too much for him, and he can't eat it all. But the old man laughs at this and tells him he will come back with more once he is done eating this. Seishu tries the food, and he instantly falls in love with it. He can't concentrate on his work anymore, all he can think about is konmen. He then goes and eats all the remaining konmen. His desire to eat more konmen still lies in him even after he has eaten all the konmen Naru's grandpa brought. The door knocks, and he wonders whether the old man is back with more konmen, but it turns out to be Naru and her friends. He feels sad, but he cheers up when Naru tells him that her grandpa has sent more konmen for him. They tell him that they came so he can help them with their assignment. Seishu has never taught anyone before, so he gets super excited and gives them lots of work to practice. They soon get exhausted by his teaching and ask him to bring them something to eat or drink. He goes out, and they start looking around his house to find if he has any photos of his possible girlfriend. They cannot find anything, and end up disappointed, since their master is a single man with no partner. Later Yujiro comes to visit Seishu. He asks him whether he is free and can look after the kids at the beach. Seishu accepts, and the whole gang gathers at the rocky beach. Seishu worries for their safety as the rocky shore is slippery and dangerous for them. But it turns out he is the only one in danger. Right after they arrive at the spot, Seishu slips and hurts his head. Tama also feels sick and stays with Seishu at the shore. The other kids go and have lots of fun in the water. Tamako asks Seishu what he feels about Hiroshi. Seishu thinks she has a crush on Hiroshi, and she is asking for his opinion of him. He gives an excellent description of Hiroshi's traits. Tamako feels terrible since she already suspected Seishu and Hiroshi's relationship. She believes Seishu likes Hiroshi, like the characters of her manga. Miwa teases Naru, and she gives her a sea slug. Naru gets afraid at first, but later, she gets over her fear. Miwa then takes her to the wall, and with Miwa and Hiroshi, they all plan to jump directly into the water. Seishu notices them and tries to stop them, but before he can get there, they all jump safely into the water. While trying to stop them, he slips again and hits his head very hard on the rocks. He then punishes them, and they all leave for their homes. While going back, he tells them that he has never cared for someone like this. This makes the kids very emotional. They all come and hug him. They also promise never to worry him in the future. Seishu's only friend, who is also his manager, Takao, comes to visit him. He has brought along a mystery person. They both start looking for Seishu, and their first interaction in the village is with Naru. Naruo tries to sell them seashells. They ask her about Seishu, but she tells them that she will only take them to Seishu if they buy a seashell. Takao makes a deal for a pretty seashell, but Naru asks for a ridiculous amount of money. Takao hands her a credit card and now demands to be taken to Seishu. Naru wants them to wait so she can show the card to her grandpa. Takao is anxious, and he forces Naru to take him to Seishu. Meanwhile, a few villagers come there and think Takao is a kidnapper trying to kidnap Naru. They take Takao to their village's annual meeting. Naru and Hiroshi come to Seishu's house to eat dinner as their guardians are gone to the village meeting. Hiroshi notices drawing on Naru's arms and asks her about them. Naru tells them the whole story, and Seishu recognizes his friend. He tells them that his phone was not working since it fell in the ocean, so he could not reply to them. Hiroshi gets surprised his master has a friend. Their dinner is disturbed when Miwa knocks at the door. She informs him that his friends are here to meet him. Takao appears all drunk since the villagers took him to the meeting, where he had lots of drinks. Hiroshi and Miwa soon find out that the other man is the one who got first position in the competition. They try to hide this from Seishu, but he already knows this information. Takao had told him in his message before coming to the village. Takao tells the gang that he brought Kosuke because he believes rivalry brings out the best in a man. He wants them both to exceed their previous limits and reach new heights of glory. And since he is the manager, he too will get rich with them. Kosuke admires Takao but also believes that Seishu is wasting his talent by staying at such a place. He started his calligraphy after looking at his calligraphy. He idolizes him so much that he has kept all his interviews in magazines. He wants him to leave this place and go back to Tokyo. He believes that by trying to add a new style, Seishu is losing the essence of his true skill. He thinks this place is not suitable for him. Seishu rejects his idea of leaving and wants to stay here instead of going back to Tokyo. Soon everyone finds out that Seishu is very popular in Tokyo, so they ask him for autographs. On his last day of vacation, Seishu takes Takao and Kosuke fishing. Takao wants to go sightseeing, but unfortunately, there is not much to see in their village. Fishing is the only fun activity they can all enjoy. Kosuke wants to stay indoors and watch Seishu's calligraphy. They arrive at their fishing spot, and Takao brags about his fishing skills. But from the looks of it, he seems to be an amateur at this. Kosuke gets excited, because this is the first time he has ever gone fishing. Hiroshi climbs the wall and tries to find the famous Hisan Iwo fish. He heard from the village chief that the fish is found in that area, so he wanted to try his luck. Seishu manages to grab 2 fish right in his first attempt, whereas Takao takes 3. The inexperienced Kosuke has tough luck fishing since he fails to catch any fish. He sticks his hook in the rocks and thinks he has hooked a big fish. The silent Kosuke gets scared when one of the kids accidentally touches him. He jumps and ends up throwing Takao's glasses in the water. After a while, Kosuke grows tired of his bad luck and wishes to return home. He hopes to watch Seishu's calligraphy. But Seishu tells him that if they return, he will only comment bad things about his calligraphy. Takao hears this, and gets mad at Kosuke. He then tries to justify Kosuke's behavior. He tells him that since Kosuke admires and copies Seishu's original style, he can't accept change in it. They both admire the classics and want to be like them. Seishu follows his father's style while Kosuke idolizes Seishu. And since Seishu is trying to change his style, Kosuke has lost the direction of his goal. Naru makes a hook for Seishu, but the others make fun of her hook. She pushes them into the water for laughing at her hook. They all then go to see if Hiroshi had any luck catching Hisan Iwo. They gather around him, and Naru gives him the hook to try. He accepts the gift and starts waiting for the prey to bite. But after a while, he feels tired and gives the fishing rod to Kosuke. Kosuke suddenly feels something big pulling the rod. They all try to pull it and see the big Hisan Iwo, but unfortunately, the hook breaks midway in the air, and the fish returns to the water. Later they observe the sunset. Here Seishu shows Kosuke what inspires him in this village to write. He tells him that sometimes beauty like this inspires him to write calligraphy. He goes home and draws the most beautiful calligraphy he has ever done till that point. They all go and drop off Takao and Kosuke at the airport. Takao mentions that Seishu's father is worried for him, and Seishu, for the first time, agrees with him. Before leaving for Tokyo, they buy gifts for their friends and family. Kosuke only buys one for himself since he has no friends. Miwa and Tamako visit Seishu while he tries to write some calligraphy. They tell him it's Naru's birthday, and they all plan to give her a surprise party. Since he is the only adult in their group, they ask him to buy the cake. Seishu now starts thinking about what sort of a gift he should buy for Naru. He thinks of a few items like a ribbon, a teddy bear, and a mirror. But since Naru is not like most girls, she would not be interested in them. He then wonders what interests Naru. Insects are the only thing he can remember. He then goes to Kenta and asks if he could have a rhinoceros beetle. Kenta says no, even when Seishu offers him money. He tells him that he plans to gift 100 of them to Naru so she can have a complete bed of them. He also wants to have a unique gift, so he can't give her that insect. Seishu joins them, and they all start looking for more rare beetles. They find the Hercules beetle, but it's too high on the tree. They ask Seishu for help since he has a ladder. Seishu tries to help them, but he falls down due to his fear of insects. The insect also dies when his hand hits the ground. They get mad at him for killing the rare beetle. However, for his efforts, they give him one beetle. He gets bitten by it and then plans to gift something else to Naru. Later that night, Seishu returns home, where Miwa and others are ready for the party. They decorated his house. He gets surprised since he locked the door before going out, but they had spare keys to his home. They all gather around and wait for Naru. She finally arrives, and they have a nice party. Everyone gives their gift, but the gift she likes most is that of Seishu. Seishu gifted a card that gave her the chance to get her one wish fulfilled by Seishu whenever she wanted. The next day, Naru invites Seishu to the graveyard for the Bon Festival. Seishu goes with her and is impressed by how famous Naru's grandmother was. Almost all the villagers come to pay their respects. Miwa and Tamako also come with their families. But instead of staying at their family grave, they come and hang around Seishu. Later the Onde arrives. They dance and sing at each family's grave. Their language seems different from what the Japanese Seishu is familiar with. He enjoys dancing and singing, but feels awkward when one of the men starts staring at him. It turns out to be Hiroshi, who is helping the band, since they were short on staff. Seishu then observes the happy Naru, who is only her grandpa to take care of her, but due to her kind and fun nature, she has made so many friends. She never looks lonely. If you enjoyed this recap, check out the next one. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more videos, turn on the bell notification for future uploads and leave a like to help the channel out.